man. It's been a while.
So what? Go ahead.
I'm so cold. It's so cold in Pittsburgh. All right. In the bottom left-hand corner, the blue Terran rolling into the win match towards French compadre. I don't think that's French. Millennium Dayshi. Cool. And in the top right-hand corner of the frost-ridden wasteland, that is Frost Ellie. We have the star, HyuN. I don't. Is he still on Quantic? Is that a?
When was the last time you watched the news, man? No, he's not.
I could barely restrain myself. I was
you
so
even-
close to introducing him as Quantic.
Do you even follow the StarCraft scene anymore,
No,
man?
no, no.
Do you
I
even
know-
still
I know
play the
about-
game?
I know about that stuff.
Okay.
Uh,
By the way, this introduction was very sloppy compared to your epic one at Home Story Cup.
I'm sorry. I got so many funny looks. It
Okay.
made me self-conscious.
In next game, you will do better, I'm sure.
Okay, I'll live up to your expectations.
All right, tell me about what you're seeing. The
So-
gas from Dayshi, what does it mean? Everything. Well, I know
The
what it
red
means.
player is Zerg. The blue player is Terran. And they're playing the matchup Terran versus Zerg. I know you don't know much about. So Daishi's opening for a Reaper open or a Fast Reaper, and I think the point on 4-player maps to open Fast Reaper is you're usually trying to catch your opponent doing something a little bit greedier. It's kind of like you're hoping for 3 hatch before pool. That's like best case scenario. And then otherwise you're just kind of hoping like maybe they got their pool a little bit later so you can get a few more drones. But that one Reaper gives you so much control and so much mobility, just information. It's about the most useful single unit that Terran could have, especially at this phase of the game.
Okay, but can you stop clicking so much? Because I can hear every click of your mouse and you're
Oh,
spamming
really?
like a motherfucker.
All right, I'm sorry. Sorry. The analysis tempered by the massive amounts of clicking.
Yes.
Meanwhile, HyuN opening with a relatively... It's not like the fastest gas. Probably the fastest one you'd see is this, the pool finishes, you start speed immediately, you take off gas. And that gives you a slightly later pool and slightly later just a slightly weaker economy. This gas that HyuN's choosing is a bit more economic with the later speed, later whatever. And Dayshi, a little unlucky here. You can see his Reaper went to the top left first and is now, just now, going to the top right. So normally when the Reaper gets to the Zerg's base, you want it to be before there are even Zerglings out. HyuN already has his Zerglings out. The Queen is about to pop. And this Reaper is really not going to be able to do much direct damage. We're not going to see him kill very many drones. But it is going to apply the pressure, and it is going to give Dayshi that scouting that he really wants.
Okay. Going for the factory, of course, behind this and the reactor. Knowing Dayshi, now this is when we see him throw down an additional command center and then double eBay. Or we've seen him use the starports quite successfully versus Jaedong. And when I say successfully, I mean that he won the games, not that he won them because of the starports. So we'll see what he chooses to do from there.
We do have the third command center going down, which is a very typical follow-up to this Reaper opening. And basically, it's just going to use the Reapers to apply pressure, make it hard for HyuN to spread creep, and kind of get that vision, the tentacles of Zerg piercing out into the map, taking control of space that creep really is. And you can see the Queen at the natural is at such low health that basically what he's trying to do is force a Zerg to use a transfuse in place of a creep tumor.
Okay. And yeah, with the first double aliens out, should be trying to... Oh, wow, actually, isn't that a very early Bailing... Oh, he was going to go for Bailing Nest, and he changed that into a Roach Warren. Is that normal?
Oh, maybe... the Roach Warren here it's just going to be defensive roaches. You can see that he's on this one gas right now. He is putting down the third hatchery. And so this is kind of like 4 or 5 roaches, maybe a fake all-in, just to get his opponents react a little bit, but it's more just to create some breathing room so that he can more easily get that creep extended to his third base, without the creep extended down there, there's basically no way he can hold that if Dayshi chooses to pressure it very heavily with the Reapers and Hellions, and so the Roaches are a way to secure that base.
Why is he getting Overlord speed so early?
It's a similar idea to why you open one Reaper, and even if you're not really intending to do any damage with it, it just gives you a lot of information, especially if your opponent is one of the trickier players. Some people, you go against them and you basically don't have to scout them because they're going to be opening them the same way over and over and over. And some players, you really have to be very careful, especially if Dayshi is known to mech. I know that he has in the past. I don't know if he's still doing that, but being able to accurately and early enough identify that your opponent is going mech or bio or 3cc or double eBay or whatever it is can give you that nice advantage as a Zerg player, allowing you to drone more precisely and not leaving yourself open with some timings.
I don't think that Dayshi will be making, but you never know. Still no double eBay. Yeah, he's gonna start adding additional barracks. He's got some add-ons up already, as we do have a Viking made in this game. We had a hero Viking earlier from MMA doing killing a ton of overlords against HyuN.
Early Viking gives you a ton of control in this matchup, especially if your opponent doesn't go for that overlord speed. And it's possible actually that one of the reasons HyuN went for that overlord speed is he saw the starport. This will help reduce the amount of casualties that he takes from that Viking by a tremendous amount.
He's still leaving a lot of overlords down on the map.
Yeah, but the Viking will have a lot of trouble killing them because the Viking and the Overlord, the Overlord's obviously much slower than the Viking, but it's not that much slower with the speed, and often you can run it. If the Viking starts attacking the Overlord, basically you just start running it back home, and it becomes really difficult for the Viking to just move around the map and automatically kill Overlords.
Okay. Double eBay going down, isn't that kind of late at the 10th minute?
This is pretty late, but I think this is in reaction to the Roaches that he saw. Dayshi doesn't want to. He wanted to favor some extra units. He got that earlier starport. It's more of a safe. It's safe because there aren't really any hatchery tech all-ins that will work against that fast Banshee, and also the Viking is giving a lot of information. But at the same time, it is a bit vulnerable to this faster upgrade style. But HyuN didn't choose to do that, so we're actually going to see their upgrades be timed out pretty similarly, within about a minute of each other.
Alright, HyuN's getting a macro hatch on his force base, which is pretty good. We've seen HyuN before in some of his previous games in his tournament, already getting a whole bunch of macro hatches. He wants to stay on top of his macro. He's taking a force base. The creep spread has not been great from HyuN. We see that he's working on it now. But,
that's definitely an attribute of the way Dayshi opened. When you make that many Hellions and a Banshee, even making those early Roaches, it's very hard to spread your creep out.
I don't know, man. Jaedong, he got the surround on the Hellions, he killed them, and then he had this creep in the middle of the map at the 12th minute.
But that's usually the only way that the surround can happen is if you're playing a little bit sloppy or you've made some sort of mistake or you're playing a little bit reckless.
Okay.
If you're playing safe with the Hellion Banshee, you really shouldn't be able to get surrounded. You should be able to keep vision of what's around you. But here we do see Dayshi going in, poking a little bit, maybe too far out of the creep. The Hellions do get completely surrounded here because HyuN just has so many units, breaks through a couple of the Zerglings, and the Banelings do get some connections here. Pretty even trade for both players here. I think HyuN taking maybe a slightly advantage.
Ready? Okay. Would you say that this is a good way to counter what Dayshi does with a lot of these attacks for HyuN to do these Roaches and Banelings?
Oh, I didn't even see the third. Did you see the third? I didn't see the third.
Now I see.
I would say
I didn't see it.
I would say HyuN is actually in a pretty good advantage right now. If we take a look at the workers lost tab, you can see HyuN's killed about 12 more workers, and in the overall income, HyuN up only 8 workers here. Instead of droning, he's actually choosing to continue the attack, rallying more Zerglings into the battle here, and the upgrades for Dayshi have just finally kicked in, so HyuN was fighting at an upgrade advantage for a little bit here. HyuN looks like he might be able to overwhelm Dayshi. This is not looking good for our French Terran.
Yeah, it's not. He needs to burrow some Widow Mines forward. There is still no Overseer in this fight, by the way. HyuN is just sending Lings and Roaches in. He doesn't even care about detection. Just crushing everything right now. Oh, he's running past those units. And Dayshi will hold for now, and I was gonna say take a supply lead, but it's actually dead even. 112 for both players.
Yeah, Dayshi lacking quite a bit of SCVs there. He's going to drop all of his mules, try and get his economy back going, and that mule will be a nice boost to his economy for the moment, but he really needs to get those SCVs back. And it looks like Dayshi actually forgot his armory.
Yeah.
And if there's any mistake, this is... Man, it's like...
The worst mistake you could do.
Yeah, this is like one of those mistakes that when you realize it, there's going to be upwards of 2 minutes where Dayshi cannot take a head-on engagement just because of that upgrade disadvantage. HyuN will be at 2-2. Dayshi will be stuck at 1-1. HyuN only has a minute and a half for his 2-2. Dayshi has not even started his 2-2. And basically what that's going to mean is that HyuN can bully Dayshi around the map, push him around, take an additional base, keep pushing his creep spread, basically manipulate his advantage as much as he wants, because Dayshi just won't be able to take that fight.
But do you think he's going to know about it?
It's hard to say. Sometimes in the moment you can forget about stuff like that. And it's really, if only one player notices it, then they will have actually a nice advantage in their decision making. Obviously, it's a mistake by Dayshi, but if he notices it and HyuN doesn't, he can play differently. He can play the drop play. He can play more harass heavy, and HyuN will be a little bit more defensive because he won't realize that he has that upgrade advantage. And the upgrades are about to finish here, so we'll see. If HyuN starts really pushing on the map here, then I guess he would notice it. But he doesn't know that Dayshi forgot his armory. That's the big thing, is Dayshi's 2-2 could be finishing any moment.
And I like that HyuN, by the way, always prepares some kind of counter-attack on the third base. I know that a lot of Terrans, they will be extra careful about this. They will place their bunker there, put some widow mines as well. But Dayshi hasn't done that. So if he leaves that position he's in right now and starts attacking HyuN, I'm sure those units will be counter-attacking very, very quickly, which could put him in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, those counterattacks definitely are very strong. Dayshi, like you said, if we look at Dayshi's vision, it's very, very limited. Like, he has knowledge of what's coming straight ahead of him, but he doesn't really know about the creep at his fourth. He doesn't know about the counterattacks. He doesn't know if HyuN has taken a fifth base yet. And meanwhile, if you look at HyuN's vision, he's got so much control over the map, so much awareness of what's going on.
Will roll into the third base, almost blowing up the orbital command, killing a whole bunch of SCVs. 30 SCVs have been killed in total in this game, and HyuN is going to go for a follow-up attack. Dayshi's in a good defensive posture here. He needs to get a good concave if he wants, well, a good, I guess not concave, split. If he wants to be in.
Oh, is he gonna? Oh, not quite. And I think Dayshi recognized that he forgot his 2-2, and he's playing appropriately. He made siege tanks. He added some bunkers. He's spread out. He's not really been doing much on the... Oh, the Banelings at the third. They might almost blow up that orbital command, but not quite. Does kill a lot more SCVs. And the attack at the front. HyuN just poking in, pressuring, and it looks like he's going to fall back for now.
What time are you at in the game now?
18:35.
Okay. Fast forward a little bit. I'm at 18:50 right now.
Okay. Sorry.
We desynced a little bit. And
yeah.
HyuN is preparing the same kind of attack as he did before right now on the left-hand side. He's sending a whole bunch of Zerglings there. What I like about this is that he doesn't only just do damage. He also knows that as soon as he loses this and trades those units for SCVs or buildings or whatever, or units, he can just remake them and then wait until he's maxed out to fight. Oh, the Mutas are going to fly into a lot of Marines. HyuN not paying attention to his army.
That's a big loss for HyuN. The Mutaflock is really, really important to keep alive. It's one of those units that you absolutely never want to die. Lings, Banelings, you can sacrifice them, you can remake them, but the Mutas, the bigger the Mutaflock gets, the more control HyuN's going to have over this game.
And taking to Ultras now, how important is this going to be? By the way, the 3-3 of Dayshi is going to finish before HyuN's, but by this time I do think that HyuN would have a lot of economy and be ready to remax quite a lot, so Dayshi's not going to wait all that long. Oh, he actually left some Widow Mines on the left-hand side, which really helped defend against those Banelings.
Some more Lings running by at the third here. The Ultralist Tech may be a little premature here. If you look at HyuN's resources, he cannot make an Ultralist Tech switch right now.
Yeah, he only has about... just made like 1 trillion Banelings.
Yeah, I think Dayshi's push really did what he wanted it to do. 66
Banelings in total. 50 Marines. There is more Banelings than there are Marines, but there is a bunch of Marauders, some Thors, and some tanks.
Oh my god, oh, here we go!
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Sorry.
What do you have to say about the fight?
Oh, I just got so excited. HyuN donating such a huge portion of his army, not supporting the Banelings with those Zerglings, which is a little bit strange. I think maybe he was caught up with the run-by at his third, setting that up and making sure that was going on. And he's morphing another 33 Banelings.
Wow, really going crazy on those in this game, HyuN. And with the Adrenal Glands on the way, Kaitin was plating as well. He could actually remax on Zerglings and Ultras and have a very, very strong army if he was to lose this one, which I think, let's just say with this amount of Baneling, he's going to be able to trade at least decently.
Yeah, I think HyuN, what HyuN wants to do right now is trade down and take an additional base and be up 1 or 2 bases against his opponent.
Oh, and he's right outside of the creep. Good surround by HyuN. He's going to get the perfect surround on this army and completely crush it. Somehow the supplies are not that far away, because I guess Dayshi was leaving some units behind it, but HyuN goes for the surround.
And it looks like HyuN's going to power through here, killing some more units. The Zerglings coming in. Baneling's going to blow up on that. They're going for the Orbital Command. The Orbital Command does go down, and now the Mutas have free reign over the side of the map. Dayshi desperately trying to remax, get some units out on the map, and take control of this game.
And HyuN is about 20 supply ahead of his opponent now. Dayshi is going to have to retry, try and retake that third base. He's secured himself a fourth base in the meantime, so he's still in it. The thing is, HyuN's economy is remaining untouched for the most part in this entire game, as Dayshi is not even trying to drop anymore, even though, well, there is a small cloud of Muta. It's not that big. It's not a scarlet cloud of Muta, let's just say that. But in the game against HyuN that Dayshi lost, which was on this map as well, by the way, Dayshi, I mean, he never did any economic damage onto his opponent, and it looks like in this game he's played it the same way, and so far it's not paying off, because HyuN is happy about the situation here. He's well saturated on many bases, he's got 10 gases, he cannot complain.
HyuN has definitely taken a relatively early economic lead and has held onto it for a large portion of the game, and now he's sitting on a comfortable 5 bases. Although I'm a little surprised that HyuN hasn't taken an additional base besides the hidden one up until this point.
It's really not. How many Ultras do you think HyuN should mix in? Oh, actually, those Banelings are going to be caught at the bottom here. And the Mutas are going to come in reinforced. HyuN should be pulling back. How many Ultras do you think he should get?
It's not about how many. It's more about maintaining the right composition. If your army is just Ultras, then you're leaving yourself wide open to big Doom drops. You basically lose control over the medevacs, and that becomes really difficult. And you also can't take fights off of creep because of kiting. So what you want is to add in some Ultras to your army, but maintain at least 15 to 20 Mutas. And as soon as you can, if you can add a couple of Infestors, that also gives you a nice army. Or you just make Ultras and attack as soon as you get them. That's another really good way to do this.
But look, how do you think Dayshi's composition is going to fare against HyuN's? Because he's got a whole lot of Marauders.
He has a lot of Marauders. This Ultraless transition actually I think is very well predicted by Dayshi. If HyuN had stayed and just gone heavier on the Mutas, he actually would probably be in a better position composition-wise. But HyuN is doing such a good job with his control of the map, constantly using those run-bys.
58 SCVs have been killed this game from all of this run-by, and now 44 SCVs against 75 drones. And HyuN's gonna get in there. He wants to fight, he wants to blow up more SCVs. And that one Ultra is like blocked in the middle of my Banelings.
He's just getting a lot of Baneling bugs. And one Ultra is just gonna die, because why not? And we'll just let all the Banelings die too.
Because why not?
Because why not?
Copyright QXC. QXC 2014.
Oh man, look at all the units HyuN has at his hidden base. He's really worried about a big drop down there.
Maybe he forgot about it now a little bit too.
It's like 10, 15 supply. Yeah, what he's really doing is just using his fast maneuverable forces to keep Dayshi pinned down Then he spreads some of his units out at a couple different bases, making so he's not really in danger of drops and whatnot. And then he just keeps controlling the game, controlling the flow. He's not really winning the big engagements enough to take the game, but Dayshi can never really leave his base or do anything aggressive.
Oh, and more Zerglings now streaming in that space. Oh, actually a Thor is going to be surrounded, and those Lings are going to take quite some time to kill it, but they do end up killing it. Burrowed Zergling below that command center, that's always nice, even at this point in the game.
So annoying. Command centers should have the ability to crush burrowed Zerglings.
I've heard you say that before.
The truth never dies.
The why neither.
So, I think there's a Viper somewhere. Did you? I saw a Viper.
It's gaining energy on the natural of HyuN.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the one Viper tech switch. Here we go. Meanwhile, Dayshi's third. Zerglings are attacking.
He has more mules. He's trying to take that base on the bottom right-hand side, but again, a burrowed Zergling anticipated. Oh, actually, the Mutas flew past some Medivacs. They react now. Wait, why is there only 2 Marines and 1 Marauder in it? Oh, I guess in the other one there was a few more.
That's a hobo drop. that's the poor man's drop.
That's the Gypsy Tiger Terran's drop.
Fill them both up halfway. Let's just go for it. Whatever. We don't have units. Ooh, it looks like there's going to be a fight. I think Dayshi's going to force a fight on the bottom right here. He knows that the Mutas are not in position, so he can take the fight against these Ultras pretty well, actually. Look at HyuN. Where is HyuN's army?
Yeah, he has the Mutas in the third base. They finally got rid of it, and a bunch of Zerglings and Banelings are killing that bottom right-hand side base. HyuN had units everywhere. In the end, he might end up losing this base here, which is going to give us a very weird game. But I guess this cloud of Mutas, regardless, is going to do a ton of damage in the main of Dayshi. He's sending back a lot of Marines.
If there might be enough Mutas here to actually camp this production and force the entire army to come home. It depends how aggressive HyuN wants to be here, because those Mutas don't have a lot of health and they don't have Medivacs healing them. He could fly over and take that fight, but instead he's choosing to continue to harass, and Dayshi is going to have to come home here. If it wasn't for that hidden base, Dayshi would actually... No, he's going to lose his forts, just kidding.
Yeah, Dayshi actually has 0 income right now. HyuN has completely shut this down. But on the other side, HyuN has to be careful. He's only essentially mining from this bottom right-hand side base and that force base that he took at northern position. Oh, those Medivacs are going to be caught out of position after the command center dies. HyuN doing such a good job with those Mutas.
Yeah,
you're going to get Magic Box Thor, sorry.
And Thor, yep. Thor does die. What HyuN would like to do right now, or I'm surprised that he hasn't, is expanded to the top.
Yeah,
base. But at this point, I'm not sure it even matters. I think he's going to remax, and he's just going to A-move with Ultra Bane. He's got such a big army advantage. No, actually, even the supplies. Yeah, but even though the supplies are really different, it's mostly because Dayshi has 20 SCVs and HyuN has 72.
Oh yeah,
so the armies are actually pretty similar. But I think HyuN's got the superior army here, and Dayshi recognizes that he has to make something happen here, or he is absolutely dead. He's gonna continue to be aggressive, maybe push in.
Run by incoming at bottom.
Oh yeah. Ultralisk harass.
Does this ever happen to you?
Only when I play mech.
Okay, really? When you play mech, Ultralisk harass your bases?
Yeah, because Ultralisk can kill PFs. They're like the most supply efficient thing to kill a PF. And look at this move by HyuN. He uses the Ultras to pull Dayshi's army back, which allows him to basically take this super aggressive position on the map, which opens him up to take additional bases, kind of just regain control of this game, take the tempo away from Dayshi.
He supply blocked Dayshi actually right now, and Dayshi who's very, very poor. Look at HyuN's economy. He can remake like an entire army behind this one if he loses.
Look at the drone train. What is that? How many drones are mining at that base?
A lot.
It's like a 32 drones long distance mining.
This is a bit weird.
But
I guess he doesn't really have any other base where there are minerals. And look at this, HyuN completely mined out even the gases of his third base right now, so he needs to transfer that as well.
He needs to get those drones long distance mining.
Banelings at bottom. They're gonna meet tanks, I think, if they are sent right away. I wonder if Dayshi had
Saddest,
planned.
saddest banelings. I think he's leaving his troops in defensive posture because of how much HyuN has been doing that harass.
Being a little bit paranoid, I guess.
Yeah, well, he needs to.
He has to know that
push.
if he doesn't do anything, he's never gonna win, because HyuN is basically taking even more bases now.
Yeah. Yeah, HyuN's economy is kind of out of. Well, it's not out of control, but compared to Dayshi's economy, it is out of control because Dayshi has literally no economy at all. Even one base mining is out of control.
Well, how do you think he should try and fight this? Where should he attack?
What he wants to do is just take away HyuN's economy. But before he knows where he should go, he needs to get that information. Like, Dayshi needs some units out on the map to give him the knowledge that he needs in order to make the attacks. Like, he denied the building expansion on the far right, but he's never scouted the bottom right, and he has no idea that there's a base in the top middle, which he could probably assume. Oh, here we go!
Yeah, those units in the middle, a lot of those got caught out of position as the bioforces were chasing the Mutalisks. And now those Ultras, they could even be transfused. They're gonna be transfused by the Queens. By the way, nice fortification on the top left-hand side base by HyuN. Bunch of spines there, making sure he's completely safe, and now he's securing those bottom right-hand side. He's never gonna have to send any units on the top left-hand side. Would have been funny if there was like 2 tanks on the high ground shooting down that hatch.
Yeah, a couple tanks up there might make a bit of a difference. HyuN not putting drones on gas at that top base. I think Dayshi's wearing him down. That's his strategy. He's gonna bleed him out. Dayshi has the mental fortification of an Iron Maiden. He's gonna attrition HyuN for the next game. Make him tired.
Only you, QX.
And Dayshi gonna kill some more creep. Pretty fun activity. Creep killing. One of my favorites.
HyuN's going for the fight here. He's trying to get a surround, but Dayshi is doing some nice stutter stepping. The Ultras get in there. The Thor actually is the unit left behind, kind of. As HyuN, he's probably gonna have too much here. Dayshi down to 50 supply. He's trying to shoot down these Ultras, but there's just gonna be too much. With the Mutas and Zerglings, HyuN had a good enough composition to secure himself the first game. And